There is one more data type like list, which is called set, and set is similar to list. It is not ordered, but there's one difference, and the difference being that we cannot put duplicates in a set, and sets are contained in curly braces. So here I have a variable named order underscore items 1, and it has three values: iPhone, DE book, and an integer value number 2. So this is basically a set. It can have multiple elements, and each element can have its own data type. Of course, we can modify it, so that's why we can actually create an empty set also. Now these are the operations that we can do using set. Remember, we cannot retrieve set using index or offset like I did in case of list and tuple, wherein we use the offset in the square bracket. Like if I want to get the first element, we have to mention 0. To get the second element, we'll have to mention 1. We cannot do that in a set. And to add value, we can use the add function. We can get the difference between two sets. We can get the intersection between two sets. Intersection is what is common, difference is what is not common. Then you can also union two sets. And order items dot pop function is used to remove an item from a set. Then remove is basically removing the entire value. Length is to get the value, and same is the case with discard. There are a few other operations. To list all items in a set, we have to use the for loop. So as you can see, the number of operations that you can perform on a set variable is pretty limited. Anyway, let us go ahead and do some hands-on. So this is the first set, order items 1, and then I can create one more set, let's say order items 2, and it will be empty. So if I type order items 1, it should show me all the values, and order item 2 should not show me any value. Now I can add a value to order items 2. So let's say order items 2 is dot add, let's say MacBook, iPhone, and Windows. So these are the, sorry, I want to add, I can add only one value at a time. So MacBook, and let's add number 2 also. So now if I type order items 2, it should show me all the values in that set. So order items 2 set has iPhone, 2, MacBook, iPhone, and Windows. I can use this pop to get the value on get the individual item. So if you see, I had order items 1. In order items 1, I had iPhone 2, 2, and ML book. So the moment I used pop, I could remove the iPhone. I got the output as iPhone, and it has been removed from order items 1. So pop not only retrieves the value, it removes it from the set also. So let me add it again. So now order items 1 should have iPhone also. Now I can get the difference of order item 1 versus order items 2, and the difference is only ML book. Let us see that. So in order items 1, I have ML book, 2, and iPhone. In order items 2, I have iPhone, 2, MacBook, iPhone, and Windows. So iPhone is common, 2 is also common, but order items 1 has ML book, which is not there in order items 2. So if I do the opposite, so I mention order items 2 here and order items 1 here, I should be able to see MacBook, IHPNE, and Windows. So this is the output. We can also find the intersection using the intersection function, and it shows me the value as iPhone and 2 because iPhone and 2 are common in both the cases. I can also union them together, meaning that if I union them together, all of them would be shown. So iPhone 2, IHPNE, Windows, MacBook, ML book. Now if you see, iPhone is there only one. So there's only one occurrence of iPhone. I do not have another occurrence of iPhone because set does not contain any duplicates. The moment we did an union, order items 1 with iPhone 2 and ML book were unioned with this particular value. As iPhone is common, so one duplicate has been removed. Now I'll do an interesting stuff. I would like to add iPhone again in order item 1. So let's see what happens. So it has been added, but if I type, I should be able to see it only once because the duplicates are removed. So you can say that sets are also idempotent, meaning if you have the same values in a particular set, no matter how many times you add them, it will not add it because it will not contain any duplicate. So that's how sets work. And the final data type is dictionary. You can think of dictionary as a mapping of JSON in Python. So dictionary is just like JSON. We have key and value, and we can have embedded dictionary also. We can have embedded list also. So this is how typically a dictionary variable looks like. We have customer address, the building, the address line 1, zip code, etc. And of course, we can create an empty dictionary also using the dict function. And these are the options. The first option is fetching an individual element. So what you just mentioned the key. For example, if you want to get the building, then instead of key, mention building here, it will show you tower 9. We can modify also. So let's say instead of tower 9, I want to mention tower 10. So mention key in the building and provide the value. List will give us the entire dictionary, the keys and values. It will get length will give us the number of items or number of keys rather. We can delete individual key also. We can get all the keys, only the keys using the keys function, and only the values using the values function. Then we have a few more operations that you can do. You can clear the entire dictionary using this clear method, and we can update the entire dictionary with a new dictionary also, meaning that we can, let's say customer address 2 is another dictionary with maybe same key or different key, but maybe with same value and different value. This customer address would be updated with the new dictionary. Now there's one more way to get the value of individual items or individual keys. Instead of using square bracket, we can use dot get function also and passing the key. And of course, we can use the update to update the entire dictionary as well. And let us go ahead and do some hands-on. So I have defined this dictionary customer address. I can use single quotes also, and the value, this is a string. Address line 1 is also a string, but zip code is an integer. And then I can use double quotes also, and this is basically an array. Now if I type customer address, it should show me that this entire dictionary. Now I want to get individual elements. So let's say I want to get the phone number. So what I do, I mention the key here and it is giving me the phone number, which is a list, and it contains two phone numbers, 1 2 3 and 4 5 6. Let's say I want to get another element, maybe the zip code, and this is the zip code 16001. And if you see the data type of zip code, it is of class integer, meaning that it's an integer value. And if I use, let's say, phone, it's of type or class list, so meaning the data type is list. Then you have addr line 1, which would be in a string. So each individual elements or the values of individual keys have different data types. Now let's say I want to get the first phone number, and it would be phone 0. So I'll pass the key here and then followed by the element offset, and I can get the phone value. Now instead of this, I can use dot get also, and here if I mention, let's say, phone, it would give me these two, and I can get the first element, which is 1 2 3. Similarly, let's say I want to get the zip code. This is the value that I'm getting, which is pretty normal. So now let us go ahead and update it. Now let's say I want to update the building to be Union Station. So tower 9 might not be correct. So now if I type customer address again, so if you see, the building has been updated to Union Station. Similarly, I can update the phone also. I do not want it to be a list anymore. I just want a single phone. So as you can see, it has been changed. So instead of a list, I have put a phone number. Now I can update the same dictionary with a new value also. So let's say in the new dictionary, I have the building to be as same, but instead of address line 1, let's say I have location, and it is also a dictionary with longitude and latitude, so some longitude and maybe some latitude. So it has been updated. Now if I type customer address, as you can see, building is Union Station, which is same as earlier. Address line 1 is Chicago, zip code is 16001. Now the location has been added. And let me update the building to be CNA Center. Now what would happen is that if I type, the building has been updated with CNA Center and the location is same as is, which means that I can update individual items also using the update function. So let's say instead of CNA Center, I want to just update the building, right? So now I can use this update function and in provide the key that I want to update. Let's say building is Aeon Center, and now if I type, the building has changed. So this is how you can update individual items in a particular dictionary as well. Now let's find out the list. So these are the keys that customer address dictionary has, and you can just get the keys with customer address dot keys, and it shows the keys that you have: building, address line 1, zip code, phone, and location. Similarly, we can get just the values, and these are the values: Aeon Center, Chicago, zip code, phone, and the location with latitude and longitude, which is again a dictionary. This is not a correct dictionary, by the way, because there's no key and value that I have put. This has become a set rather, not a dictionary. Now let's say I want to remove a particular element or a particular key. I can do that. Let's say del, and I want to remove the location because might not be correct. So if I remove it and type customer address, the location should be gone now. So as expected, that particular key is not there anymore. Now I have to clear the entire dictionary. Just use clear method, and now there's no more elements in that particular dictionary. So these are the various operations that you can use on dictionary, and this is the last data type that I wanted to discuss. Now of course you'll get situation wherein you want to convert from one data type to another. So let's say you have list, you want to convert it to set. You have set, you want to convert it to list, or from string to integer or integer to string. And this is how you do it. So integer to string, str followed by the variable, and x is of type integer. Now string to integer, x is of type string. Now let me show you this. So let's say a equal to, I have 1 2 3 4, and now b equal to integer of a. This will work, by the way. Now if I type b, it is 1 2 3 4 as integer. Now if I take a look at the data type of b, it is integer, but the data type of a is string. Now similarly, let's say I have 1 2 3 b. Now if I try to convert it, it will give me error because b is not an integer, so Python cannot change it. So remember this, be mindful of this particular thing, that it's not that any value can be converted to any another value. So let's say I have a, or I have b, which is an integer value 1 2 3 4. I can convert it to string because any value can be converted to string. So the moment I convert it to string, 1 2 3 4 becomes 1 2 3 4 in quotes. This is pretty simple, but the other way around is not as straightforward. All the values should be integer, then only we can convert it. Similarly, we can convert from integer to float. So x is of integer type, and then we can change it. Float to integer can be done also. Again, let me show you this. So let's say I have a, which is 123.50, and b equal to integer 123.50. Now what will happen here if I type b? If you see, the value is 123. The decimal point has been gone. Now let's say I mentioned 123.98 and I convert integer to b. So now, as again, the value is 123. One thing you might have noticed, that rounding does not happen. So just because it has 0.98, it will not convert it to 124. Remember that. It will only get the first value. So The other way around is also true. Let's say I have 123.45. So let's say I have an integer 123 and I want to convert it to float. That can also be done. So now a would be a float type and it is 123.0 because it has to be float. Similarly, I can convert it to other data types also, like set to list and list to set, and then list to tuple, tuple to list, and then set to tuple, tuple to set. So these are the various conversion methods that we have. Now, one thing you might have noticed that if you want to convert the data type, what we do is we use the target data type function. For example, let's say I have integer here, int. I want to convert string to int. What I do is I just pass that string variable inside of int function. So this is how we can do conversion of various data types from one data type to another. And this is known as type conversion in Python.